Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently rocking, and that is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull MM in the monogram canvas. Alright, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, let's start your workout, let's go to work, let's do your laundry, whatever it is that you do, come and join me because we have some awesome topics to cover today. Starting with the very first question from Jay Boulis, hopefully I said that correctly. I am really wanting to purchase a Chanel Jumbo as an everyday bag. I work in an office, so I won't be carrying the bag around the whole day. What are your thoughts? Do you think that the Jumbo is worth the current price tag? This is a wonderful question, and I do have some eye candy. This is the Chanel Jumbo Double Flap Classic in the black caviar leather with the gold hardware. Now, when it comes to this bag, is it worth it? I look at it a few different ways because I feel that it's all a matter of personal preference. Yes, I cannot turn a blind eye to the price tag that it has. Currently, it retails for $5,500 here in the States plus tax, and depending on the state that you live in, some of them have tax, some of them don't. But still, it is a considerable amount of money for a handbag. And when I think of is it worth it, I feel that if this is a bag that you have been wanting for a very long time, if this is a bag that's either your holy grail bag, if this is the bag that you've been saving for, if it's a bag that you have been wanting to add to your collection for as long as you can remember, and that aspect of it, it's definitely worth it because it's a bag that you're going to enjoy. It's a bag that you're going to rock, you know what I mean? If you like the bag and you maybe don't see it as a forever bag, you don't know if you'll have it in 5 years time, in 10 years time, or even in 2 years time, what have you, then I would end up going for the pre-loved route because I feel that when it comes to Chanel, whether you end up going the pre-loved route, whether you end up going for brand new, they have such amazing quality. They have such beautiful craftsmanship. I love the silhouette that it has, and I really do appreciate the fact that the bag has so much history to it, so I love that aspect about it. But like I said, if you're not sure of this bag being a forever bag, going the pre-love route, you're able to save some money, and if you go either route, they have amazing resale value, whichever way you end up going. So that's why I look at it a little bit differently. I know that I can sit here and say it's worth it. So-and-so can say it's not worth it, but it's all a matter of personal preference. If it's a bag that makes your heart sing, if it's a bag that you just smile from ear to ear when you think about it, when you see it, then most definitely it is worth it because, I just feel that it's a matter of how that person ends up experiencing the bag, you know what I mean? So that's why I can't really say it's a yay or nay, or who am I to tell you what you think of when you look at the bag. And do I see this bag as an everyday bag? I definitely do, especially because of the versatility that it has. I think that it's a great bag to transition from day to night. So if you use this during the day for work, and then in the evening you go out to dinner, or you end up doing something else where you want to be a little bit more dressed up, maybe a little bit more formal, then this is a great bag to use. Plus, I love the fact that it is also very carefree, especially if you end up going for the caviar leather versus the lambskin. The lambskin is not as delicate as most people say it is, but I feel that between the two, the caviar leather is just that much more durable, that much more carefree. And you can really end up using this bag for everything and anything. You can end up fitting quite a bit of items in here. It does have a very good size, so you don't have to go as compact as if you were to say use the medium large back there or any other smaller handbag. But I think that the silhouette that it has is beautiful. I think that it is a timeless bag. It is a classic bag, something that is just incredibly timeless and very classic. Then I don't think you can go wrong with the Chanel Jumbo. So hopefully that was able to answer your question and give you a little bit of help. But I wish you the best of luck in deciding whether or not the Jumbo is for you. Next question from Shannon Hubley. Any insight since a few Q&As ago if the My World tour from Louis Vuitton Speedy B30 will be available to purchase without adding any patches to it? I know that we briefly touched base on it. I think it was last week or the week prior. I do have some more information for you guys, and I also have some eye candy thanks to my very good friend Jen from JBlueTeach1 on Instagram. Make sure you guys check out her account. She has a phenomenal phenomenal handbag collection. But before I share the eye candy with you, yes, you are available to purchase the Speedy B30 in the monogram canvas with the black trim and red lining without any patches. And you can also do the same thing for the Neverfull. I have the information that I got straight from my sales associates, and this is the price point that it has. You are available, like I said, you're able to get the Speedy with just the black leather and the red lining. The price for the Speedy is $16.60 plus tax, and if you end up getting the Neverfull without the patches, it's $17.20 plus tax. And I ended up also asking the ballpark of the, the ETA because it doesn't have any patches, and they still end up quoting you from 4 to 8 weeks. And because a lot of people ended up putting some of their orders in earlier, they ended up getting them 4 weeks later. So it took half the time, but I feel that if it ends up becoming a little bit more popular, as more and more people end up adding them to their collections, I feel that it might end up taking closer to 6 to 8 weeks. So they still end up saying that the ETA is 4 to 8 weeks. The Speedy is $16.60 plus tax, and it's in the Bandolier 30. It's only available in the Bandolier 30, and the Neverfull is $17.20 plus tax. So I thought that I would share that with you guys. I will also put it in the description box below just in case. All right, so are you ready? Are you ready for this amazing, amazing, fantastic, absolutely beautiful eye candy that I'm about to share with you? And again, a huge, huge thank you to my good friend Jen. Your bag is absolutely amazing. Make sure you guys follow her on Instagram. Check out her Instagram. Her collection, as I mentioned before, is phenomenal. So I will insert her pictures right now because she ended up going for the Speedy B30 with the black trim, the red lining, and she added her initials, so kind of like the Mono part of it, in the most inconspicuous corner of the canvas. It just blends in so perfectly. You guys will see exactly what I'm talking about when I insert the pictures right now. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? Oh my goodness. I remember seeing the bag or her reveal on Instagram, and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, this bag is stunning. It is stunning. So a huge congratulations to Jen. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to use your picture for Minks Monday Q&A. You have an amazing, amazing collection. And, a lot of you guys have asked me if it's something that I'm going to end up doing, if it's something that I'm going to go for. I think that if it was a Speedy Bandolier 25, no doubt I would end up going for it, only because for me the bandolier ends up fitting better on my body frame when it's a 25. But I am seriously thinking about the Neverfull. I am trying to be so good. I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to save money, and then something like this comes up. I kind of felt that I got away from it because the patches. I thought the patches were only going to be available, but that's not the case. And the fact that it has the gorgeous red interior, monogram, black handles, I mean, oh man. I might just break down and end up getting it, but who knows? I have to go into the boutique. I want to see the one that they have on display, because the one that they have on display does have the patches, but I can still kind of get an idea, especially after seeing Jen's picture. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this eye candy, because I know I sure did when I saw it. So I definitely had to share it with you. And again, thank you so much, J Blue Teach One, for allowing me to use your picture. Next question from Yes Yenzi. When planning for your next purchase, what takes priority on your wish list? Also, would you rather add multiple small leather goods or just save for the purchase you've been lusting for? These are great questions. Okay, so what takes priority on my wish list? It really, when it comes to wish list, it really depends on the item. It depends how long I've been saving for it. It depends, there's, when I look at wish list, I look at it a little bit differently. I know that usually I end up putting the more expensive items on my wish list at the top of my wish list, which doesn't make sense because, because I almost never end up getting those. And I seem to work from bottom up versus from top down. So I don't know if any of you guys are like that as well, but it really, like I said, it really depends on the item, because sometimes the very elusive bags will become available, and if I have the funds for it, that's the most important thing. If I have the funds for it, if it becomes available, then I will end up getting it, and it really doesn't matter where it is on the wish list, because, you know, for example, some of the, like the wallet on chains or classic medium larges or Deauvilles or anything like that, or even if it's a Neverfull, whatever it is, if it's something that I've been really wanting, if it becomes available, then I will go ahead and go for it. But I do have to have the funds for it. There have been times that there have been bags that have come up from my wish list that were available, and I had to pass on them because I because I didn't have the funds. And I just kept thinking, I remember sitting at the counters and saying and thinking to myself, oh, well, I can do this, I can end up selling this, and trying to figure out a way to pay for it. But then I ultimately just ended up having to walk away. So I have to have the funds, and it all depends on the item and if it becomes available or not. So I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to wish lists, to be honest. All right, and would I rather add multiple small leather goods or just say for the purse you've been lusting for? Personally, I rather end up going for the bag I've been lusting for. I'd rather put the funds towards, you know, the bag that I've been saving for, but I speak to you from experience. It is so hard. It is so hard to keep your eyes on the prize, because sometimes these small leather goods come up, and, you know, I'm thinking, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, the small leather good might be $500, $600. The bag that I want is, I don't know, it could be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. So I'm thinking, you know, I can buy this and I can still end up saving for the bag later on. So I have derailed multiple times just because I'm thinking, oh, I love that small leather good. It'd be a great pop of color. And I like SLGs just as much as the next person, but when it comes to prioritizing between small leather goods and a handbag that I've been wanting for a very long time, I'd rather go for the handbag, because I feel that when you end up going for the small leather good, as beautiful as it might be something that just comes up out of nowhere. It's not necessarily on your wish list, but then what really ends up pulling me back is that those $500, those $600, $400, or what have you, will end up taking away even more. It'll take me longer to get the bag that I've been lusting for. So trust me, I know it's hard to keep the blinders on. And maybe I'm not the best person to ask, because I am horrible when it comes to it, but ideally I would have to say that go for the bag that you've been lusting for. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. All right, next one from Rabina McKnight, my very good friend Rabina. What do you think of the triangle soft bag from Louis Vuitton? I've seen it on Instagram, and I love the fact that it is reverse classic mono, and the handle doesn't look as stiff as the artsy bag. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture to share with you guys, but I will put a link on the description box below so you have a little bit more eye candy. The triangle soft bag retails for $25.40 here in the States, and just like Rabina said, it's a hobo style bag, so half of it is monogram, the other half is reverse, and it has a braided black handle. It's not for me. It's very edgy in my opinion. The only thing I would have to say is that I feel that maybe the handle might end up being, because it's braided, I feel that it might be a little uncomfortable depending on how much you end up fitting inside of the bag. And when it comes to hobos, I know the way that I am. I end up throwing everything in there as much as I can, kind of like the Neverfull. So I feel that it might make the bag a little heavy, and it might end up digging into your shoulders. And yes, it is very similar to the artsy bag or the Sully bag, but the Sully has the flat strap, and the artsy has the rounded braided strap, but the braiding is on top. It's not on the bottom. So that way I don't feel it really ends up digging into your shoulder. So that's the only thing that I can think of. It's a very like I said, it's a very edgy design, and I think that it will appeal to a lot of people. I unfortunately am just not, I'm not one of those, but hopefully that was able to give you a little bit of info. All right, next question from Carlisa. Hopefully I said that correctly. Do you typically match the handbag brand you're carrying to the boutique you're shopping at? For example, if you're visiting the Chanel boutique, do you make a point to carry a Chanel purse? Curious. This is an awesome question, and I don't. And this is how oblivious I am to where I'm shopping at, because as many of you know, when it comes to myself and the handbag that I end up choosing for the day or for the week or anything like that. It really depends on what I'm doing for the day or what I'm doing or the type of weather that we're having. If it's raining, then I always end up going for Damier Ebene or Caviar Leather from Chanel. But this is how oblivious I am. I don't know if you guys remember the Tahitian collection launch. I went to the Louis Vuitton event. They were kind enough to invite me, and you know, it's a new launch for a new line for Louis Vuitton. So I get there and I'm seeing everyone come in, and they all have Louis Vuitton purses. Every single person has a Louis Vuitton purse. Do you know what I ended up taking? Oh yeah, I took my Givenchy Antigona. It was right after London, and I was just enjoying the bag. I didn't even think twice to bring a Louis Vuitton bag to a Louis Vuitton event. And I remember someone made note of it. They said, "Oh, you're wearing your Antigona." I said, "Yeah, you know, I really like the bag. I'm having a great time." And I, in my heart of hearts, I kept thinking, oh my goodness, really, Minnie? Really? Every single person had a Louis Vuitton bag. But to me, I'm enjoying the bag that I'm wearing, and I don't even think twice about where I take them to. So that is how oblivious, as I mentioned, I am when it comes to, to the bag. I'm all about carrying the bag that I am enjoying, and you know, it doesn't matter if I'm going to Louis Vuitton. It doesn't matter if I'm going to Albertsons to go get groceries. I end up just rocking the bag that I'm rocking. So no. That was a little long-winded story, but I just thought I would share with you guys. All right, next question from Denzel Jacobs. Hopefully I said that correctly. Would you say that the Louis Vuitton mini pochette accessory is too feminine as a wristlet or catch-all for a guy in ebene or monogram canvas? Thanks. And I do have both of mine here, so we have a little bit more eye candy. So here is the Damier Ebene, and here is the monogram canvas. Do I think that these are too feminine for a man to wear? Definitely not. In my opinion, when it comes to fashion, when it comes to handbags, I think that every fashion house and any fashion house is unisex. I would have to say that between the two, this one is maybe a little bit more masculine between the two, but you know, it's all a matter of personal preference. I think that they are both fantastic, and I especially love the Damier Ebene because of that red interior. I know I could talk about the red interior all the time. So no, I don't think it's too feminine, not at all. I think this is awesome. I think this is a great piece to go from the fashion house, and it's incredibly versatile, and you guys know how I feel about versatility. I'm not going to give you an earful. So do I think these are too feminine? No. No. Definitely not. So go ahead and grab that mini pochette and rock that mini pochette. Awesome question. All right, next question from AbiGirl76. Hopefully I said that correctly. What are your thoughts on Louis Vuitton Nanos? I would love to have the Nano Speedy B for events such as concerts and such. Have you ever owned one or maybe considered owning one in the future? Great questions. And have I ever owned a nano bag? I guess you can consider a nano bag, but yes, I had the Louis Vuitton Mini HL once upon a time. I ended up selling it only because while I do love mini bags to a certain extent, it depends on the type of silhouette that they have. I do like them. I felt that the Mini HL was just a little too small for my taste. And I tried using it as a catch-all. I tried using it maybe as like a little clutch, if you will. But I felt that I overwhelmed the bag, and I've often talked about that on my channel. Sometimes I feel like the bag is just too small for my body frame, and it just kind of looks, you know, not proportionate to how I would like it to look. So it's all a matter of personal preference, but sometimes when it comes to nano bags, like I said, it really depends on the type of silhouette that they have, the type of style that they are, because some of them are incredibly small, and I feel that the price tags that some of them have are a little too high for what they end up offering the person. But You know, some people end up pulling them off as catch-alls, as I mentioned. Some people use them as clutches. Some people use them, and they're able to incorporate them into their daily lifestyles. Unfortunately for me, that was not the case. So a nano bag is not in my future. You know, I already had the mini HL. It was beautiful. It was super cute. I think it's something that would be perfect for my niece, but it didn't end up working out for me. But I do appreciate them. I think they are so incredibly adorable. Every time I go into the boutique, I'm just like, oh my goodness, they're so cute. But then I look at the price tag and I'm thinking, oh no, not for me. But I'll end up, you know, for me, I would end up putting the funds towards something a little bit bigger, something that might be a little bit more versatile for my own personal lifestyle. But it's all a matter of personal preference. Some people can rock them, some people can pull them off. I am just not one of those lucky people. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. All right, next one from CJ Candidat, hopefully I said that correctly. Had my new Louis Vuitton jean wallet embossed, but the letter is not 100% filled out with the gold and it bleeds a bit. Is it possible to have it redone? Any thoughts or experience you can share? When it comes to hot stamping, it can be a little tricky, only because the hot stamping, I know that you can sometimes take if it ends up being a little crooked, they might be able to redo it sometimes. And the only reason I say that, as I mentioned, it is a little tricky, is because when it comes to hot stamping, they're compressing that, you know, the machine on there, and it makes the leather just very, very thin, and they have to be careful because if they do it again, it can end up going through the leather. So it depends on the small leather good that you're putting it on, or the piece that it is. In this case, it's a wallet. But even if they are able to kind of peel off or take off the foil, because it was hot stamped, because it was already compressed, you might see an indentation of the previous hot stamping that was already on there, even if they were to redo it. So it's all a matter of being able to lift it off carefully. I know that I've had friends that have been able to lift off the foil, they've been able to lift off the lettering, but then they're still able to see the embossing. And then one of my good friends, actually, she ended up doing it, and hers was a J. She had a J on top. It was compressed. It was kind of what's it called, lopsided, if you will. She peeled it off with the sales associate, and then they went to redo it, and now it looks kind of like two J's are side by side. So in that instance, I would end up just leaving it the way that it is instead of redoing it, just in case, because you don't want to have any problems like that. So some of the sales associates might tell you, you know, we don't want to do it again because it'll end up going through the leather, it'll end up damaging the leather or what have you. So I would just end up going back to the boutique and ask them and see what they end up doing, because if it's a very thick piece of leather, if it's something that they can potentially end up saving or redoing, then definitely I would suggest going that route. So hopefully that was able to help. And the last question from Cat0126. I just recently sold my classic Speedy 30 in Damier Ben because I don't really use it, and I decided to invest in the Speedy 25 bandolier. However, the problem now is which print I'm going to buy. Because I watched your video on your review of your Speedy 25, I am contemplating to get the 25 monogram because of the strap, and that is very comfortable on the shoulder. But I bought my first Louis Vuitton in the Neverfull in monogram. I wanted to explore the Louis Vuitton prints as well, and I still wanted to have the Damier Ben in my collection, but I am afraid that I won't get to enjoy using it due to the strap negative reviews. This is a great question, and I know that adding variety into a collection is a fantastic way to be able to explore the Louis Vuitton prints. And yes, Damier Ben is known for not being as comfortable as monogram or Damier Azur pieces with the type of leather that it has because it's treated. But I would have to say it is still a favorite of mine, and I will still continue to use it and look forward to adding more Damier Ben bags to my collection, because in my opinion, when it comes to that particular print, the pro that it has, the fact that it is so incredibly carefree, I feel that outweighs the con that it has, which is that the leather or that the straps are not as comfortable. So yes, it's not as comfortable, but the fact that you can end up using that bag year round, you can end up using it in the rain, you can use it in the snow, you can use it at any type of weather that you have, the fact that you don't have to worry about color transfer, the fact that you don't have to worry about water stains, the fact that you don't have to worry about patina, that to me is the major pro that Damier Ben has. And I've mentioned it before with my Neverfull. I end up using the Demi Azur Neverfull the most, and I end up using my Monogram Neverfull the most. But when it comes to using the Neverfull that I end up just gravitating towards when it's raining, and I know it's an open tote, but it doesn't really bother me because I end up putting a scarf on top. But I love the fact that it is 100% worry-free in that aspect. So that to me ends out outweighing any of the cons, any of the comfort cons that it might end up happening. And it's definitely a matter of personal preference. I know some people have had Demi Ben for quite some time, and they have said that it does end up softening over time. It takes quite a it takes a little bit longer than Monogram or Demi Azur, just because it is the treated leather. But again, the fact that you don't have to worry about it, I think, is the ultimate pro that that print has. So hopefully that was able to help. And it's all a matter of what makes your heart sing. If you end up, if you really want to go for a Demi Ben piece and you want something that you don't have to worry about, then I think that going for that print would be fantastic. But if you're still on the fence about it, take your time, go into the boutique, try them on, put all your items inside, and see how comfortable you end up finding the strap. I might think that it's a little uncomfortable, and you might think that it is absolutely fantastic. So I definitely suggest going into the boutique. But hopefully that was able to help. All right, you guys, so that does it for our Minks Monday Q&A. We had some amazing questions today, and I hope that I was able to help. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on that red button down below. Now for this week's lineup, I have my June favorites tomorrow, and for either Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to try to shoot for Wednesday, I have a Chanel authentication video for you that hopefully you guys will end up liking, and hopefully it ends up being helpful. But yeah, so that's what I have in store for you. Like I said, this month has been all over the place. I feel that you know, it's just kind of, I don't know why, really. It's been a little chaotic. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.